So remember on the first day, I was just like, I'm not that down to go for her.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, the more I thought about it, I was just like, I need isolation on a light team, and that's Legendary Leaf. That's Legendary You can't
It's
go
really
wrong.
stacked up.
Yeah, you can't go
You
wrong.
really can't.
Here's the thing, if it was just Mila, I don't think I would be considering it, but with Legendary Leaf there as well, oh boy. Legendary Leaf has been doing mad work for me in Ether Raids.
I would love to merge them up a little bit.
Exactly.
And my Alm's already +2, so what's the cost of going for more merges?
Yeah, I also have a merged Alma as well, so there are a few reasons to go for her. Anyways, to break her down, she has 41 HP, 37 attack, 17 speed, 40 defense, 37 res for a total of 172 BST.
And then, yes, Milla's 172 BST, Colors Dragon Infantry, HP Speed Super Banes, Defense Res Super Boons.
Wow. Defense res super boons. You're kidding me. She can reach 44 defense or 41 res.
Tied with Nagi for the highest mixed bulk of any, well, defense res of any unit, at 40-41 plus res, Nagi being 40-41 plus defense.
Oh man, that is so ridiculous. You know why, right? That will catch.
Dark Shrine, she will be the best unit to catch the Dark Shrine, well, realistically.
Yeah, best unit to catch the Dark Shrine. Now, I will say, if you plan on using her to fight, plus res seems way better. But if you plan on using her just for the support role, remember her C skill needs more defense. So, defense it is. Super Boon defense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think, because then that's 47 defense plus defense, 52 with a Fortress defense seal. You're catching most heroes at that point.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's very valuable.
Quick refresher for those who forgot. Nurturing Breath, defense was 3. Bow's range is 2, catches damage using lower defense or res. This is standard across all breaths. And
Not
then
sure why it came before the effect.
Yeah, I remember reading that the first time and I was just like, wait, why is it here already? That's so weird.
Yeah, like, what?
Okay, but they reorganized, I guess. The real effect of Nurturing Breath is attack speed, defense res plus 2 to allies within 7 rows and 7 columns centered on unit during combat. This is basically the entire map for Ether Raids, but for things like Rival Domains or Grand Conquest, it will not cover the entire thing, but that's just weird why they did it like that, but alright.
I mean, it's mostly because they don't want to have, like, a if unit exists condition, they have to keep it to what they have.
Right.
It might not cover all columns in Grand Conquest, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Yeah, I guess there's that stipulation.
Mm-hmm. Alright. It also... She also has defense res plus, rally defense res plus. It's nice to have, it just improves her fodder value. She also has bracing stance 3, which is defense res plus 6 when she's getting hit, and she has a guard ability on bracing stance as well, so it prevents her opponents from charging. She has sabotage attack 3, and then Milo's turn wheel, which is isolation and an extra turn for you in Ether Raids. Bridal Fjorm has literally been here for a year, so it took them an entire year before Isolation made a return.
Which makes sense, I guess.
Wow.
Much like Dominance, it's not exactly an effect I want to see very often.
But now you will. Like, this is such a great utility hero for Ether Raid sakes.
Absolutely, and much harder for the average person to counter, because the best defense dancers are Berkut and Xander, who are 5-star locked.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think Olivia has 27 defense, and that's your best bet, free to play.
Yeah, I don't think any dancers or singers will be able to stop her at all, even if they did everything. Yeah. No, even if they tried their best to, like, go plus
Chill
defense. Oh, yeah, if she gets chilled, right, that does change things up a bit.
Olivia has 27 defense, alright. So that'd be 30 defense, set plus defense, 34 with a defense or fine, 44 with double fortress defense, 48 a plus 10, 50 with dragon flowers, and then Milla has 43 base, 48 with fortress defense. So already Olivia's avoiding it. And then you add in chill defense. I don't even think Milla can run fortress defense on ace slot to have a chance.
This is interesting. So technically, if Olivia wanted to tech for it, she could. But at the same time, if she does that, couldn't Bridal Fjorm catch her instead?
Yes.
That is so interesting.
I mean, I think it's going to be pretty clear. A lot of people are going to run Fjorm on Astra and Milla on Light. But for the people who run Fjorm on Light, in the future. It might be a pretty good anti-meta to stop those kinds of Olivias.
That's interesting. I actually don't see a lot of Olivias. I think PP Cool is the only one I see Olivia being ran with in Ether Raids.
She has 4 less HP than Sylvia, which really does drag her down.
Yeah, and Sylvia, I see Sylvia's a lot more, yeah. Okay. Anyways, Rujin asks, how does she compare to Duma?
So Duma, who of course came out last year, has 2 more BST, 7 more HP, 3 more attack, 4 more speed, 6 less defense, and 6 less res.
Yep. She is much, much, much bulkier. That is very strange to say, but she is.
I mean, keep in mind, Duma's Fell Breath, for those who forget, is if foe is damaged, gives him attack res +6, and then also foe can't double, whereas Milla's perf is just defense +3 with no additional effect to herself. So Duma's res loss is actually mitigated, but the defense gap is effectively 9.
Yeah. You're right about that. So, but again, there's another thing. Duma's armored, Mila's not, so you got to keep the movement in mind. So there are still many advantages to Mila. And
not to mention, Duma has to deal with Naga.
Yeah, Duma has to deal with Naga too, which is the weird part. So he's mostly used as a catapult nowadays. He's not actually expected to do much of the fighting. Of course, he can if you set it up properly, but most often nowadays, he's just the catapult.
Yeah. He still is going to hit much harder, and his res bulk isn't too compromised, but there's just too much going against him now.
Now, I will say, Mila provides something interesting. That's to use Mila, actually just use Mila to take hits to fight, with the idea of replacing her breath with lightning breath.
Totally an option.
Totally an option, and I originally was really against it, but then the more I thought about it, it was just like, Mila's breath is actually providing very, very little. Very little. +2 to all stats, 7 columns, 7 rows. Sure, that helps very little. If you go lightning breath, you essentially have distant counter on her. You can still refine it for defense, so you're not losing out on defense, and you're getting a bit more HP for it. And then if you don't really need sabotage attack, you could also just replace that with QR or do the QR seal instead. You could actually just switch her over to lightning breath, bracing stance, keeping bracing stance, QR, and then you could just use her. Like, that's it. You would just use her to fight.
Yeah, you could totally use her just as a frontline unit as well. You just have to really double down on making sure she's tanky enough. Because the main reason why Ether Raids tanks work is because they are blessable.
Right.
Milla is the one conferring the blessing, so she can't do that.
Yep.
That said, if you're in a mage comp, Brahmon in particular encourages this, you'd probably want to go with the plus res, 41 res, 45 res with the res refine, 46 HP, 51 res with bracing stance, 57 res with distant defense. She'd be extremely prone to AoEs, but she would not be letting the enemy charge through specials.
Yeah.
Her attacks would still be pretty hard hitting, and her res bulk would be quite considerable, albeit with more doubles.
Right, but here's another thing you gotta realize. Like, she is actually pretty decent if you turn her into Lightning Breath, Null Sea Disrupt, QR.
You could argue there are better units for that, but if you just need that option, Milla's not a bad one.
Right, because for me, the most valuable thing about her is her C skill, that extra turn and isolation. Sabotage attack is hit and miss. Her breath is plus to all stats, but that's not that big of a deal. And since if you throw her with, Lightning Breath and Null Sea Disrupt, she actually can fight through cab lines. Her defense and res is way too high. Like, they would just do nothing to her, and she would just kill them. And because she's targeting lower defense or res, her lower attack by switching to Lightning Breath isn't such a big deal.
You could totally make that argument, honestly.
Yeah.
I'd still say that there are probably better options, but especially if you have like a fallen female core and you could run distant counter, and then with the extra +6 to all stats thanks to Savage Breath, that defense res gap is kind of mitigated. But for all intents and purposes, if you should run Milla as a tank, you totally could.
Yep.
Instead of having to take the support role, and you wouldn't, lose one of your hero slots.
So I was just gonna say, even though she can't receive blessings, she's been min-maxed so well that her defense and res, even if you had a hero that was fully buffed up and whatnot, it would be much better than that defense and res anyways. The only thing that's really lacking is her HP because of the lack of blessings.
Yeah, that HP is definitely going to be important to note.
Yeah.
I don't think she'll be the best super tank for really great comps. For some of the lower ones, definitely. But if you need her to do some fights against a couple of the mages, like you kind of do a split push, or later turns after the combat's already started, you have her bait out something from the left, just as an example, while you go for the potions on the right, or the pots rather, then that's totally an option you could do with Lightning Breath.
Yes. Okay.
Null see Lightning Breath on top of everything else. Im sold. Im pulling.
See, that's what I meant, Kevk. That's why I mentioned it, because it felt like when we originally looked at her, it was just like, she's just going to be running around in the background doing nothing. And I guess she could do isolation and give you +2 stats, but that was relatively minor. If you do go Lightning Breath, it's not even a hard commitment. Lightning Breath, the fact that she comes bracing stance already makes it just, like, she'll have guard, extra 6 defense, extra 6 res, and then distant counter really easy. It wouldn't even cost you that many feathers. I mean, what are you going to do? Give up a Noe? A Tiki? Like, that's it. That's all you had to do. And then a Tsubaki, I guess. Or you run the seal. Or you give up Tsubaki and run distant defense or something. But, like, it's not hard to build her at all. So that's why I was really interested. And she's colorless. She would actually fit that role pretty well.
Yeah, no, she'd actually make a pretty solid option. I will say, if anybody has Fallen Female Corrin, I would suggest her over Milla, just on the prospect of blessings, speed. But if you need the option, I think Milla could definitely be a service.
Yeah, if you have Fallen Female Corrin or Fallen Tiki, I would still go either of them over Milla. But I'm saying if you wanted to have a hero that could just, like, do a little bit of everything, surprisingly, with very little commitment, just 40,000 feathers, yeah, you could do that.
Totally.
Let's see.
I like that idea.
Yeah. Do you think pairing her with Corrin or Lilith is a good idea, or with... no, I don't think she's your primary defensive option. I feel like she'll just do spot duty. Like, she'll take on certain matchups.
Definitely spot duty. If you want to have her super tank, you would have to have her not be a mythic.
Right. Water Breath to be immortal. That's an interesting idea as well. You could technically... Because she's not armored, and here's the thing. You're more likely to run into effective against armored heroes than effective against dragon heroes in light seasons. So, because of that, even though she's a dragon hero, she's not armored, so she actually has a lot fewer weaknesses. So you're right, if you did run Water Breath on her, there's a decent chance, especially at lower levels, where you can just run her in and she can just tank the damage, and that's how you start the battle. Even if she doesn't get the kills, she can just tank the damage, and then the battles can start.
Yeah, if you want a damage soak, definitely that's an option.
And
plus
that's right.
10 defense res and guard, very hard to kill that.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to mention too. That's probably the intention here. She gives you an extra turn because you just throw her in, even if she gets no kills off, whatever, the battle has started.
Definitely inclined more so to the stall play than the sweep, which I kind of like.
Yeah, I think that's the indication to use her as a stall hero. So I like that a lot too.
5 minutes later.
Nagi has 179 BST, so that's 7 more BST, 5 more HP, equal attack, 2 more speed, 4 less defense, and 4 more res.
4 less defense and 4 more res? Oh, yeah. Nagi, yes. I thought you said Naga. I was just like, wait a second, how?
Naga.
That's my bad.
Not even close.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Nagi is just a little more HP, a little more speed, and then a trade-off in def res.
Alright.
So pretty comparable.
But that is green versus colorless, guys, so keep that in mind. It's not 1-to-1. Now, a closer 1-to-1 would be, I would say, Fallen Tiki and Fallen Corrin.
Of course. Alright, so let's start off with Corrin, who has only 1 more BST.
Wait, she has 1 more BST? Really?
Training status.
Damn, okay.
Fallen Female Corrin has 2 more HP, 2 less attack, 20 more speed, 9 less defense, and 10 less res.
Wow. Right. Very different roles. Fallen Female Corrin is meant to be used offensively, but you could definitely see that. A difference in defense and res. Savage Breath does make up for it quite a bit, but yeah, that's still just such a huge difference.
As for Tiki, who has 8 more BST, She has 4 more HP, 1 less attack, 17 more speed, 3 less defense, and 9 less res.
Oh wow. Yeah, Mila's in a class of her own. There's really no true comparables right now.
Nagi is as close as it gets because mixed tanks as they come are far and few between.
With that said, is she the highest mixed tank in terms of total defense, total res?
Yes.
Wow.
Tied
Okay.
with Nagi.
Right there with Nagi. Okay. Wow.
Nagi would of course be the highest if you include HP, but for the purposes of defense res, it's between the two.
Right, but also
So,
Nagi's
Dark Shrine.
right, but Nagi's also armored, so guys gotta keep that in mind. Mila compares very well defensively. If only
yeah.
she had more going for her to help her out there. Special things like Nagi's breath really helps her out, but Mila's breath doesn't do anything for her.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you're more support rolled.
Mm-hmm.
I guess a funny one might be Mamori.
Oh sure.
Mamori has only 2 more HP, equal attack, 7 more speed, 2 more defense, and 4 less res.
2 more defense. Wow, 4 less. Okay, they balance out pretty well too.
And for reference, Mirage Axe gives 3 res, and Milla's weapon gives 3 defense. So if you were to factor that in, it would be 2 more HP on Mamori, equal attack, 7 more speed, 1 more defense, and then 1 less res.
What the heck? Now, Mamori also has a shield session, but with that out of
And Mirage
mind,
Axe.
yeah, it's shield session versus 30 stance at that point. Oh,
Bracing.
Bracing, my bad. Bracing stance.
If you look at them raw on their weapons, they're almost identical.
Yeah.
Down to the HP. It's just that Mamori is faster.
And Mamori is armored, which is why I'm so impressed by Mila as a result. She's easily the tankiest infantry hero in the game, by far.
Oh yeah, in terms of mixed bulk, I don't think any infantry compares. I can look. There's a lot of the, most of the defense tanks are not res tanks. In fact, I think the best mixed tank right now is Summerhill Bindi, I want to say. And to pull him up, Summerhill Bindi, to preface, has 4 less BST. He has 3 more HP, 1 less attack, 1 more speed, 3 less defense, and 4 less res.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What?
Fallen Leon might be a fun one, just for people who want it.
Fallen Leon, okay, sure.
Just because people might want it. He has 1 less HP, 3 more attack, 1 less speed, 8 less defense, and 2 less res.
That's a weird
course he's
comparison,
engaged.
but that somehow makes some sense there. That's weird.
Well, they're very similar in their role, being heavily min-maxed for defense, well, mixed tanking. It's just that Leon, being a mage, having 9 less BST, has to tank his defense.
Yeah. Alright. Anyways. That's Mila. She's surprisingly impressive. The biggest thing about her is just that people don't like her art. And I got
Which
reminded
is
this.
50-50.
It's really split. Some people are actually just really happy to not have like anime looking characters anymore. But at the same time.
In this situation, yeah.
Yeah. At the same time, though, let me know if you guys are going to pull. I know Legion is, and I'm now leaning towards pulling. So, most likely I am pulling. But I would only be going for Mila, though Red's really awesome as well. But I would like to guarantee getting 1 Mila at least.